Non comparison. Dalai Lama said, the goal is not to be better than other man, but your previous self. Focus on yourself rather than others. Most of the time, we are unhappy because we focus on others but not on our self. Let them insult us if they want to. If somebody shows anger, let them show it. That is their problem. For the sake of others' mistakes, why should we be painful? Develop your level of understanding. That person's cognitive level is like that, that's why he or she behaves that way. Many people form incorrect thought patterns. They think that if they remove others from their position, then they will be happy. They feel that by harming others, they will become more powerful. The approach of causing harm or putting down others will not result in happiness. But in reality, the universe doesn't work this way. Newton's third law states that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. If we harm others, how can we get happiness? In order to be happy, one should focus on self rather than others. Balloon activity. As a part of my workshops, I often conduct this activity. I used to call 6 or 7 volunteers from my audience for the activity. I would give a balloon to each volunteer, then I would say, keep this balloon in your left hand. Then I would give 1 needle to each volunteer and say, hold the needle in your right hand. I would say, I am giving you 3 minutes, the person who has the balloon in hand till the end will win. Everyone was rushing to pop someone else's balloon and save their own. By the end of the activity, we found nobody had remained with the balloon in their hand. Moral: everyone might be able to hold the balloon for the full 3 minutes. Because I did not give them the order to pop anyone else's balloons. It was conceivable that everyone may emerge victorious. But we think that the only way we can rise to greatness and superiority is by degrading and injuring others. This is the incorrect mentality we have adopted. This way of thinking does not make us happy. Case study: a director from a well-known IT firm joined my executive coaching program. She was somehow satisfied with her achievements and had the chance to visit 5 nations, but she felt still unsettled and unhappy. Sir, I'm a specialist, I was excellent in school and college, and I'm also doing something useful in the organization, but one of my neighbors who dropped out of college has been running his privately owned firm for a long time, and he is more prosperous than me, she explained. I clarified to her that he has been working for a privately run company for the past 15 years. He was simply behind the money. As a feature of your designing examinations and work, assume you picked a bearing toward the north and he picked a course toward the south. On your excursion, you won't see the spots that he uncovered on the grounds that his course is completely unique in relation to yours. So, for what reason do you have to correlate yourself with him? In the long run, we become hopeless in light of the fact that we are seeking something else and comparing ourselves with others. Conclusion: it is important to never compare yourself to others, but rather to set your own goals, focus on what you wish to achieve, channel your energy in the right direction, and work consistently. By doing so, you will be able to reach your goals and enjoy your life with happiness as well. How much competition is there? If you are preparing for the IAS, Indian Administrative Service, exam, do you feel that there is ample competition? Of course, you would say there is immense competition. The Indian Administrative Service, IAS, is the most prestigious bureaucratic position in India. Increasingly, more than 20 lakh aspirants apply for this position every year. If I say there is no competition, you may be surprised. Am I right? Yes. Take a look at the result of the UPSC examination 2021. IAS topper Shruti Sharma secured a total of 1150 marks, which means 54.57%. If you look at the last 10 years, the percentage is nearly the same. If you target 60%, then is there any competition for you? Certainly not. We are our own competitors. If you focus on your goal and develop competence and commitment, you're good to go. Conclusion: there is no competition in any field. Focus on the goals. We are competing with ourselves only. Comparison brings unhappiness. Just become better than the previous day. Society and you imagine if you built a bungalow worth $10 million and purchased a car worth $1 million, but the location is in the forest and no one can see it. Will you feel happy? I don't think so. The cost of those bungalows and cars does not matter to you. All you care about is showing your family and friends that you have these things. One time I was a guest at a friend's house, where he built the 5-story building. He told me with pride that he had built it and showed me the building. A few months later, I again visited him. That time I asked how nice his building was, but he didn't seem happy. I asked him why he was unhappy. He told me that his neighbors had built a 6-story building. He started comparing his building with those of his neighbors and felt sad. His building was the same height, but he felt small because, compared to his neighbors, in any field we'll find a person better than us. For example, if I want to become a bodybuilder, I will find many better bodybuilders in my city. Similarly, if I want to become famous, I can find many famous people around me. If I want to write a book, there are many famous writers already out there. The comparison makes us sad. Moral: most of the time, we work or gather things not for ourselves but to show others. Why do we compare with others? Comparison makes us sad. As long as we are trapped by an ego, we compare ourselves to others and try to satisfy our egos. As a result, the original or real self never appears. The absence of light is nothing but darkness, and the absence of darkness is nothing but light. The absence of soul is nothing but ego, and the absence of ego is nothing but soul. When we examine our lives, we can realize that our unhappiness is caused not by a lack of things but by seeing other people happy. We are constantly comparing our possessions to those of others. By seeing other people's happiness, we are unhappy, and this is the wrong mentality. Core competency and all-rounder skills. The animals and birds in the forest gathered and decided to offer versatile training to their kids. The school in the forest has all the facilities, and all kids will be trained in various skills. Ostriches, fish, eagles, monkeys, foxes, lions, and buffaloes are required to undergo all the training. Fish are forced to climb trees, ostriches are forced to swim, eagles are forced to jump, and monkeys are forced to walk fast. Eventually, all became injured and could not perform well in their own competencies. Moral: the key to success and happiness is to focus on core competencies rather than becoming an all-rounder. Most of the time, parents force their children to learn a variety of skills rather than encouraging them to focus on their strengths and interests. Who is happy? Story of a crow. A crow lived in a forest and was completely satisfied throughout his everyday life. However, on one occasion, he saw a swan and said, "This swan is so white, and I am so black. The swan should be the most joyful bird on the planet." He offered his viewpoint to the swan. The swan replied honestly, "I thought I was the most joyful bird around until I saw a parrot with 2 wonderful colors. I currently think the parrot is the most joyful bird in the world." The crow then, at that point, moved toward the parrot. The parrot made sense of, "I carried on with an extremely blissful life until I saw a peacock. I have just 2 colors, yet the peacock has several varieties." The crow then, at that point, visited a peacock in the zoo and saw that numerous people had gathered to see him. After people had left, the crow moved toward the peacock. "Dear peacock," the crow said, "you are so gorgeous because you are consistently extraordinary. Numerous people come to see you. When people see me, they promptly shoo me away. I think you are the happiest bird on the planet." The peacock answered, "I generally believed that I was the most lovely and cheerful bird in the world. But because of my excellence, I am imprisoned in this zoo. I have analyzed the zoo cautiously, and I have understood that the crow is the main bird not kept in an enclosure. So, in recent days, I have been feeling that, if I were a crow, I could cheerfully wander all over the place." Moral: that is our concern as well. We make a pointless correlation with others and become miserable. We don't respect what God has given us. This all prompted the endless loop of misery. Figure out how to be content with what you have as opposed to taking a glance at what you don't have. There will always be someone who has a lot more than you. An individual who is happy with what she has is the most joyful individual on the planet. Story of Alexander the Great and Fakir. Somebody shared the genius of Fakir with Alexander the Great, and Alexander wanted to take that Fakir with him and offer something precious. Alexander personally went to meet that Fakir, who was just lying on the beach in the sunlight. Alexander went near him and asked, "I am a great king, Alexander, and I wish to offer something precious to you." Fakir said as he watched King Alexander, "Just give me the side so I can get direct sunlight." Moral: because Fakir was happy even in the sunlight, he is content with what he has. Don't compare yourself to others, instead, live contentedly with what you have. Need versus greed. In order to get happiness, one should live with need instead of greed. Rajnikanth, a South Indian film actor, rightly said, "Whether you drive a BMW or a Maruti, the road remains the same. Whether you fly economy or business class, your destination doesn't change. Whether you wear a Titan or a Rolex, time remains the same. Whether you use Samsung or Apple, the people you call remain the same." Moral: it is fine to have high expectations and imagine a luxurious or deluxe living style, but needs should never become greedy because needs are met and greed is never fulfilled. I intentionally used the word living style instead of lifestyle. There is a significant distinction between living style and lifestyle. In my first book, 7 Secrets of Success, A Practical Guide to Life Direction, there is a separate chapter on lifestyle. Self-worth. Most of the time, I have observed that many people's happiness is controlled by circumstances or situations. So far as we are determined by circumstances and situations, happiness is impossible. In most cases, people consider their value according to the people and things they are associated with. The moment those people or things change, a person is miserable. Case study: in one motivational speech, a speaker took out a 500 rupees note and asked the audience, "What's it worth?" They replied, 500 rupees. Then he threw the note on the ground, making it dirty, and asked, "What is its value?" 500 rupees, the audience responded again. Then he crumbled the note and asked, "What is its value?" The audience responded again, 500 rupees. The value of money remains the same irrespective of whether the note is clean or dirty. We compare ourselves to the situation and become either motivated or demotivated, happy or unhappy, though our true value doesn't change. Moral of the story: we are the same person going through the various stages/situations regardless of our age, whether we are a child, a young adult, or an elderly person. Once we realize our self-worth, we will not be sad. Our value never changes. Question 1. Write down things you are possessing and feel successful. Question 2. If you're comparing yourself to someone successful, write down their names. Question 3. Is their path similar to yours? Yes or no? If yes, reveal their strategies and model them. If not, then what's the use of comparing? Value of our true self never change. So, stop comparing and feel contentment. Focus on your goal. You can see obstacles only when you take off your eyes from goal. The secret of happiness is not to compare yourself with others. Question 4. Points to ponder. $1 million question. Is our value of true self ever going to change, and if not, why should we compare ourselves to others?